Welcome to EPG Pathashala. I am A. Poshadri, Assistant Professor, College of Food Science and Technology, Professor Jaishankar, Telangana State Agricultural University, Hyderabad. Today we are going to discuss about high intensity light and pulsed X-rays in food processing and preservation. So in this, before going to in detail about this course, the objectives of this course and what are how we apply this high intensity light and pulsed X-rays for preservation of food. So end of the course we are going to learn what is the wavelength and what are the applications of this technology and where this technology is using for preservation and processing. Okay, so we are going to learn after end of this course. So next, so before going to in detail about this high intensity light, so this is also a kind of non-thermal technology for the decontamination of the food or for the preservation of the food. We are using this technology for the product development for the industries commercial applications. Few industries have already started using this technology. And nowadays a few pharmaceutical packing materials, few pharmaceutical products are sterilized with the help of this high intensity light. So what do you mean by high intensity light? We'll discuss. So pulsed light or high intensity light is a alternative to thermal treatment for killing pathogens and spoilage microorganisms in foods including bacteria, yeast, molds and virus. The key component of pulsed light unit is a flashlight, a flash lamp filled with an inert gas such as xenon, which emits radiation that ranges from UV region around 200 nanometer to 1100 nanometer in infrared region. So we are generating the high intensity light by filling a lamp with inert gases. That inert gas is like xenon we are using. That xenon is energized or by giving high energy, high current and high voltage when you are applying on that, and it produces high intensity light. So from that range of, for example, in UV region it is 200 nanometer. In case of near infrared region it is around 1100 nanometer. So this light we are using for the pathogen killing, for sterilizing of the food material or sterilizing of the packing materials or for sterilizing of the waste materials or any wastewater treatments. A high voltage, high current electrical pulse is applied to the inert gas in the lamp. Treatment of packaged products by pulsed light minimize the risk of further recontamination. Many plastics can be used efficiently to transmit the light to the products. Example, polyethylene, polypropylene, neon. So the food which is packed in this polyethylene or polypropylene neon, the packet is kept under this high intensity of pulse. So when we pass this light on that food, that the product contains the pathogen, the pathogens on the surface of the product get inactivated. So that is the application of this high intensity light. So high intensity light. So in food processing, when you use this high intensity light, so it can only kill the superficial organisms which are present on the packet or on the surface of the food, but it will not this light intensity light will not penetrate inside the tissues. So the organism which are in the tissues, the spores which are in the tissues will not inactivated with this technology. And sometimes this is needed where, for example, in some we are using as a fumigant. Aluminum phosphide is a fumigant for fumigation of the grains. So what we are doing, we are keeping aluminum phosphide tablets and we are covering the grains under tarpaulin cover and we are exposing for a week or 4 or 5 days. After that we deaerate it. That means we are fumigating or disinfecting the grains with the help of the chemical components. So by using high intensity light, and you can avoid the use of that chemical components, chemical substances for the disinfection purpose. So that means the chemical residues or the chemical components can be avoided for the fumigation of the grains. So that is the advantage with this high intensity light. So for the food application, FDA, Food and Drug Administration of US, has given certain guidelines in 1996 that use of high intensity pulsed light as an irradiation processing method. That means when you use high intensity light, it comes under the category of irradiation. So that means, so when you have a irradiated food, we all have some different doubts on irradiated food. It means there may be some radiotopes or radioactive component residues in the food. So similarly, when you have this high intensity light processed food, there may be chances of radioactive components. Okay, so that means further studies needs to be done, because so far no one has found that high intensity light food having this radioactive component, but there may be chances of these residues of radioactive residues in the food. That is the limitation with this technology. So that's why they are given in irradiation related category. FDA also said a guideline that safe use of source of high intensity light to control microorganisms on the surface of the food. Irradiation source may be xenon flash lamps, and pulse duration no longer than 2 minutes. So that means you are not supposed to expose your food not more than 2 minutes. If you expose more than 2 minutes, there may be a chances of radioactive components formation in your food, and when you consume that food, then we will have other carcinogenic effects. So if it is high intensity light for a short duration of time, and when you use this light, it kills only the superficial on surface of the organisms which are on the surface of the food get inactivated, but the organisms which are inside the tissues, so it is not the right method to kill the organisms which are present inside the food. And the energy which we apply in this case, so it should not more than 12 kilojoules per centimeter square. So you are not supposed to give a dose of a effluence dose 12 kilojoules per centimeter square. So that is the limitation. So US FDA has given, the Food and Drug Administration of US has given a certain guidelines. So use of high intensity light is a kind of irradiation, and it kills only the organisms which are on the surface of the food or which are on the packing materials, and so it will not penetrate inside the materials, and that the duration is only 2 minutes, and the energy levels we should not use more than 12 kilojoules per centimeter square. Treatment of packaged products by pulsed light minimizes the risk of further recontamination. Many plastics can be used to efficiently transit light to the products. Polyethylene, polypropylene, nylon kind of material we can use very well for transmitting of light through the packing material to the food. So in this light, so a high voltage, high current electrical pulse is applied to the inert gas in the lamp. The strong collision between electrons and gas molecules causes excitation of electrons, which then emit an intense, very short light pulse of 1 microseconds to 0.1 seconds. So actually here the exact mechanism is not known, but because of this intense electrical current only, so it is producing that strong high intensity light. The following units are commonly used to characterize the pulsed light treatment. One is the fluence rate. What do you mean by fluence? Fluence is the energy, how much energy is received by the food from the lamp. That is called fluence. Fluence is a kind of dose. So what is the dose rate? So here we already known that 12 kilojoules per centimeter square, that is the fix, and you are not supposed to expose your food to seconds, 2 minutes, not more than 2 minutes. So if you expose your food to more than 2 minutes, there is a problem. And fluence is another important character, that is fluence is measured in joule per meters, and the dose is sometimes used as a synonym to fluence. And exposure time, length in time in seconds of the treatment, pulse width, that means the wavelength, the nanometers, and the pulse repetition rate, how many times we can repeat that. So that is measured in terms of pulses per second. And peak power, so peak power is measured in watt and is pulse energy divided by the pulse duration. So in this picture, in the slide, you can see the picture, a schematic representation of a benchtop experimental unit of pulsed light. So here it is also looking like your microwave oven. So So here the power is there, power control model is there, then one cable is connected, from that cable connected to the light, a lamp house. So where this xenon gas is there, the light is filled with the xenon, where we are supplying high electric energy to that light, and it emits the electrons present in that xenon, and it emits a lights to the surroundings. So the sample holder is there where we keep the sample and the food is exposed to that. So the drawback with this pulsed light here, because as we discussed already, so it will not penetrate inside the food. So a few food products where for example pH is more than 4.5, so those are highly susceptible to bacterial growth. So in that case, so such kind of foods not suitable to use this light also. So that is a limitation with this. So this pulsed light, also called as pulsed white light, or pulsed light or pulsed UV light, we can call it as. So these pulses, for example, a pulsing of high power xenon lamp around 0.1 to 3 milliseconds from the source. So it excites, or it gives the light around 0.1 to 3 milliseconds. So in that conditions, with the spectrum of around 200 nanometer to 1100 nanometers, we apply on the food, then the food the pathogens get inactivated in that. So here in this chamber, in this pulsed light chamber, the chamber generates high intensity light at the surface of the exposed container, about 1.7 joules per square meter, or 1.7 into 10 to the power of 6 microwatt per second square centimeter is also applying on the food. Okay. So by this we can remove the sufficiently we can eradicate the bacteria and fungal spores, and 2 pulses at 0.75 joules per centimeter square were used to sterile the plate cultures of Staphylococcus aureus from more than 7 logs of colony forming unit. Spores of Bacillus subtilis, Bacillus pumilus, Bacillus stereodermophilus, Aspergillus niger were inactivated completely from 6 to 8 logs of colony forming units in different experiments. In the year of 1998, scientist Bushnell has found that in a log of 6 to 8 logs, he inactivated most of the, even some fungi, Aspergillus niger also. So several scientists have conducted research on log reduction of these different pathogens in different foods by applying high intensity light. And you can see in the e-text there is a graph. So in that graph, different organisms are there. So for example, Staphylococcus aureus, Bacillus stereodermophilus, Bacillus pumilus, Bacillus subtilis, Aspergillus niger. So then they are all the foods which contain these organisms are exposed to this light, and the log reduction of spores and bacteria from a single pulse is recorded. So for example, if it is before pulse and after pulse, this log CFU recorded. So after pulse, and you can see the gradual reduction of their load in the food we found once after applying this pulsed electric light, pulsed light, high intensity pulsed light. The main principle involved in pulsed light processing of foods. So pulsed light technology is a novel thermal process which consists of successive repetition of high power pulses, a broad emission light. The emitted light spectrum includes wavelengths from 200 to 1000 nanometers, with a considerable amount of light in the short wave UV spectrum. For the emission of single light pulse, the electric power is stored in an energy storage capacity and later released quickly to xenon lamp. Then this lamp emits short duration 325 microsecond and light intensity light flashes which are transmitted to the surface of the products. So you can see in the picture in the slide, so how this energy, and from the capacitor when you switch on that, and from the capacitor, that high intensity energy which is stored in the capacitor is transferred when you switch on that to the light lamp, where lamp is there. So the xenon molecules in the xenon get excited and it releases the high intensity light. Okay, you can see in the picture how this light is coming out. The US Food and Drug Administration approved the use of pulsed light technology for production, processing and handling of foods up to a light doses of 12 joule per centimeter square for processing or for handling or for production. So USFDA has given the permission, a legalized permission that we can use up to 12 kilojoules. It is safe. If we use behind that and it is not safe, and we have to take prior approval from the USFDA or the respective countries' legal bodies. And some scientists found that instead of general hurdle concept, you use this as a one hurdle. As we in our previous classes we discussed hurdle concept. That means application of different physico chemical and biological hurdles for the preservation of the food. When you combine any physical method or any physico chemical method or any microbial method with this pulsed electric field, with this high intensity light, then you can eradicate the pathogens very well with minimum dose. So again, with this hurdle concept, the treatment reduces levels of spoilage and pathogenic microorganisms isolated from seafood product. So this the antimicrobial effect of this UV light or a pulsed light on the bacteria is because in the bacteria or in the food will have different bacteria or any other organism, they contain nucleic acid composition. So nucleic acid and proteins. This pulsed light, electrical light will go and disrupt that nucleic acid component and protein component of that bacteria or microorganism. So by that they undergo lysis and then that will not survive and then multiplication will be stopped and the gradual reduction of load will be there in the food when you apply high intensity light. So this pulsed light contains a broad spectrum of white light from UV wavelengths of 200 nanometer infrared wavelengths to 1000 nanometer with a peak emissions between 400 to 500 nanometer. So again here the pulsed light is kind of similar to your sunlight. So this pulsed light has a similar spectrum to sunlight except that it also contains some UV wavelengths that are filtered out sunlight by Earth's atmosphere. The light is produced in short high intensity pulses that are approximately 20,000 times the intensity of sunlight at sea level and last for a few hundred microseconds. So it is even it's even 200 times 20,000 times higher than the sunlight. But in sunlight, the sunlight is passing through the atmosphere, stratosphere, ionosphere. So that is filtered UV light. Here this is not the filtered UV light. So it's directly falling on the food, and the organisms which are on the surface of the food get inactivated. When you see the effect of this pulsed light on microorganisms and foods, pulsed light inactivates microorganisms by a combination of photothermal, photochemical effects. The UV component of the light has a photochemical effect, but also most of the energy is in the visible spectrum. The effect is mostly photothermal, that is large amount of energy is transferred rapidly to the surface of food, raising the temperature of thin surface layer sufficiently to destroy the vegetative cells of bacteria. So when light transferred on the food, so sufficiently food get heated up. Because of that heating, that organisms present on the food get inactivated. When water is treated with the pulsed light, it was found that the few organisms like Cryptosporidium or some fungi which are not affected by this UV light get reduced to 6 to 7 logs when I apply pulses for a energy of 0.5 kilojoule, 0.5 joule per centimeter square. And few advantages and limitations of this pulsed light technology of minimal processing. For example, advantages are medium cost, very rapid process. In a few seconds your processes will be complete. Little or no changes to foods. The changes in foods are very less because only on surface of the food get inactivated. The organism present on the surface of the food get inactivated. And low energy in food. Only once your capacitor is loads with high energy, then you are using for only few seconds. That means the energy consumption is very less when compared to other processing technologies. And suitable for dry foods. In our previous classes we discussed that high pressure processing technology or in some aseptic processing for particulate food, those are not suitable for the dry foods. But this technology even can be used for liquid foods or even for the dry foods. So that is the advantages of this high intensity pulses. If you look at the limitations, the limitation is simple, that it only kills the superficial organisms which are present on the surface of the food, and not in-depth penetration will not take place. So the organisms which are present in the tissues and the organisms which are heat resistant will not inactivated. that is a disadvantage, and not proven effective against spores, and possible resistance in some microorganisms, and few organisms are resistant to inactivate when apply this pulsed light, and reliability of equipment to be established, possible adverse chemical effects, advantages over high intensity UV light to be established. So here chemically it is not the reliable method, and when you expose the pulse light, the fluency is more than 12 kilojoules, there is a chemical radioactive components formation. That is the major disadvantage with this system. That means if you are not used controlled, or if the dosage is more than the FDA guidelines, then definitely you will have a problem in your food. That is one big problem. And next, and we have to prove that this high intensity light has more advantages over the general UV light. In our house we will use UV light for treating of the water. So this light is more advantage than the UV light. We have to establish the procedures, we have to establish the standards. So research is still going in this, that this light is more advantageous over the UV light. And examples of commercial applications and products are packaging materials, baked product, fresh fruits and vegetables, meats, seafood and cheeses, surfaces, water and air. So for in these areas we can apply this high intensity light in a moderate way. We can use as a food processing technique. So from the beginning I would like to conclude this, that this high intensity light has advantages, but still we need to establish the its benefits over the UV light, and it has certain limitations. Limitations means there may, if we expose a food for more than the required time or the more than the dosage, there may be a chances of developing the bioactive chemicals inside the food, and that means when you take such food you will have the health issues. And when you expose the food to this light, only the organism present on the surfaces get inactivated, but the organisms inside the tissues may not inactivated. So this is a disadvantage. But advantage of this method is it is a quick time. In a quick time we can process that, and we can use with less cost and maintenance, and it is even it can be useful for dry foods, unlike other methods where high pressure processing, ultra aseptic processing, where you are not supposed to use for the dry foods, but this method can be used even for the dry foods. So these are the advantages. To conclude, this high pulse intense light is a novel technology, novel food processing technology, and where it is a user friendly and eco friendly, but it has some adverse effect when we use more than the required concentration or required time. So that is a defect of this. Otherwise it is a novel technology and user friendly, and it doesn't create any emissions, any noise, any pollution in the atmosphere. That's why it is a eco-friendly technique also. This method is a eco-friendly kind of technique, and this can be useful very well where a packed food need to be sterilized. So for example, if you want to sterilize the packed food, you can use, or you can combine, for example, the food which you have treated in conventional sterilization methods. After treating and packing, for example, aseptic packing, you are even sterilizing the aseptic packing. But in other general sterilization process, you are only sterilizing the product, not the packing materials. So after sterilizing that food, then after filling into the packet, and the packet can be placed in this chamber, and you can inactivate. That means, so when you club this high intensity technology with the other technologies, conventional technologies, then we will have the better quality product, better safe product. So that is the advantage of this high intensity pulse, and careful handling need to be there, and with less cost, and you can use for n number of products, from liquid to dry foods, dry liquids, dry powders, semi-liquid powders, viscous paste, anything you can apply on any kind of food. So that is the advantage over other things. And UV light only useful at certain extent, but when you use this ultra high intensity light, and it will kill more number of pathogens. And researchers already proved that UV light, this high intensity light has more advantages over the UV light. And they applied for different juices, fruit, and they studied the reduction of different microbial load in different foods and the different cultures. They evaluated and they found positive results over the what you call UV light. So this high intensity light has such a advantage, and we can use in packaged foods or in a what you call raw materials. Okay, that is the sterilization effect of this high intensity light. Thank you.